going on, everyone? It's your boy Chicago Writer. I'm back with another video. I'm back just kind of making this quick video to just kind of showcase some of the reasons why I personally believe that the Democrats have really destroyed a lot of black households in America. And me personally, just to give you a heads up, I don't subscribe to either Democrats or Republicans. I don't really necessarily think that any one of them have benefited us even more. I wouldn't say that, but long story short, I do believe that the Democrats have actually done a lot more damage historically to blacks in this country rather than than the Republicans. Now, I don't think that blacks, we should necessarily subscribe to any particular party per se, but I think that we should do what's in our best interest that benefits us the most. And some of those policies that the Democrats have been put in place are actually double-edged swords. One of them would be like the Section 8 housing program. Like on one side of the coin, they said, hey, yeah, we'll give you a little more stable housing, so on and so forth, but you can't have a man in your house at all. So that's why a lot of people don't know, but it's actually illegal to, I won't say it's illegal, but it's like you really can't really have a husband and be on public housing because you'll lose your voucher. And what the effect of that was, it actually created a lot of like single parent households where they feel like they had their dependency was the state instead of having another man. Like so essentially the state pretty much replaced a lot of the households in black families, which ultimately created a lot of like crime because you don't have like, because a lot of what's happening is a lot of these young boys don't have like a guide or a father to actually go after, and so what's happening, they're emulating the first thing they see, and which they think, which is what happened to be on media, and the media portrays black men as being like thugs or anything like that. So that's what they think that's what they equate to being a man, which isn't right. Another reason why is I would say the minimum wage has also created a big problem as well. Like back in the 60s, about I think 60% of black businesses were actually owned by other blacks. But now today that number is dwindled to roughly about 7%. So roughly 7% of the black families have been like roughly 7% of the business in the black community are actually owned by other like black people. Other ones are actually much higher in other communities. So they actually like play a role into the economics too. But the main reason why like they implemented the minimum wage, not really to like help minorities per se, it was more so to help out other Caucasians, because back then what was going on was blacks had a stereotype of being quote unquote like the Mexicans, where they would work hard for like a really cheap price. And when they were doing that, a lot of like white workers were being like their jobs were being outsourced at all. So the government they said, okay, we'll pay a minimum wage, so that way it may be a little bit higher what blacks are paying, what blacks are taking right now, but that way the whites can actually have some sort of way of making the earnings to meet as well, and they don't have to worry about like. And a lot of the employers are going to say, okay, well, if I have a choice between blacks or whites, I'm going to choose whites because that's my clan, that's my people. And there's just a lot of plethora of different reasons why these type of things happen. Those are some of the main policies. Another wave is like feminism. Feminism has like contributed to it to a degree, but that's mainly because you'll see like a lot of women don't like, they kind of got this like false sense of independency. Like in no other culture does people put their man behind their woman. Like women and men both put men in the front because they know how important it is to have a man that's in charge of the household. But in the black communities, you don't really see that too much, though, because that's not like, that's what the media has taught us. That's what we've been trained to be. Like if you notice, like we always call women queens. Oh, she's a queen, she's a goddess, she's this, she's that. But where are the kings and the princes? They're not really emphasized nowhere near as much, which I don't think that it's necessarily fair in my opinion. But that's like but ultimately, like in any scenario, like women always need men and men need women. There's no such thing as like someone should be like, oh, I don't need a man or I don't need a woman. Like what I mean? Like that's what's supposed to complete us. And right now, like a lot of women don't feel like a man is necessary, but because they have the government, a lot of women do have the government as their father. as the father of the household per se, the one who's paying the bills, the one who's paying the rent. That is the dad in a lot of situations, which ultimately isn't right, but you know, that's just how it is sometimes. I mean, I can go into a lot of different like details and reasons per se, but you know, ultimately, like I just want to kind of give this. Oh yeah, 35th in Michigan, yeah, yeah. I'm driving downtown, man. Just like, you know, just driving downtown. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So, but no, I'm actually in Indiana actually, but Michigan is the next street over. That is very close. But yeah, it's a lot of different problems, man. I can go into detail if you guys want. We can talk about it in the comment section. But I just want to make this quick video, just showing some of the reasons why the Democrats are actually like giving us double-edged swords and actually not hurting. I'm not suggesting that we vote Republican by no means, because obviously the Republican Party has been infiltrated by a lot of white supremacists, and I definitely don't disagree with that. But I do think that some of the policies in place would need help us. Like, you know, for example, I don't think that I do think that Section 8, and you know, like, you know, needs to be limited to degrees, so that way it's not like people don't feel like they have to live their entire lives on public assistance. That's not fair in any sort of scenario. So, but I just want to make this quick video. Just let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I would like to get in more detail these type of topics. So, yeah, just let me know, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.